I have a very important question for all of you. What if immersive sims had dinosaurs? Yes, it is finally time to do the most logical thing to make any game cooler and add dinosaurs to immersive sims. And I've got just the game for us all to get behind to make that happen. Before I get into Athanasia, the dino dodging box stacker, let's do some quick housekeeping. For all of you who pledged during Halloween in July, first off, thank you so much. And secondly, if you've somehow missed me on the secret Patreon Discord and the weekly patron updates I post on Patreon itself, I am presently in the process of hurrying up and waiting to start sending everything out, because despite working as much as I could to make as many patches as I physically was able to do before the big move, you mad lads pledged me out. I've already secured a third party to help me fill the gap that I need, and I'm expecting them to come sometime later this week. I'm doing this because, well, while I want to hand make them all, I was not allowed to take the $15,000 embroidery machine with me when I moved, and on that note, in lieu of embroidering your names onto the aprons, I have pre-washed them all with hypoallergenic, whatever the stuff and no fabric softeners, and I'm going to use fabric paint to put all your names on them. The package says it glows in the dark. Now how about them box stackers? Athanasia is a project that Momentum Games has been working on since 2020, and after having a demo out for some time now, they're launching their Kickstarter. They're not exactly asking for a lot here as far as game dev costs go, and they're asking for it so that the team can commit to making the game on a full-time basis instead of part-time, and therefore be able to add more stuff to it. In the meantime, I was able to get a solid 2 hours of box manipulation, sneaking around, and seeing what I could get away with in-game from the free demo, which you can download on Steam right now if you'd like. The link's in the description. Athanasia takes place in 1999 in an undisclosed location somewhere in South America. You play as one Dr. Carmen Flores, who's investigating a long-abandoned facility after there were a spike in reports of animal attacks that weren't like anything from the animals that were supposed to be in that region. This facility used to be a dinosaur zoo, and it was also supposed to be decommissioned. Your helicopter pilot tells you that you're on your own now as he drops you off. Better go find some ventilation shafts to hide in. Let's get into that gameplay. After you're dropped off, it's going to be a lot of sneaking, shooting from the shadows, and when you need to, running. You are a scientist, not a super commando, and you didn't come here armed or even, well, reasonably prepared if we're being honest. Also, there are dinosaurs. You can't exactly sneak up on them and do a CQC takedown. Well, you can non-lethally take them down in quite a few ways, actually, but they've got a fast metabolism, so anything you don't kill outright is going to get back up in a couple minutes. Take that into account when you're running around, as the last thing you want when you're running back and forth in an area is to find out the large carnivore that you thought you had taken care of is back on its feet again and in a bad mood. On that note, after a bit of exploring, you'll find a crossbow, which is not only silent and has both lethal and non-lethal options, but is generally pretty cool. Before that, you get a knife, which you can make work if you want to burn through your healing supplies after every encounter, and later on, you will finally acquire God. But this is more of a survival setting than an action one, so ammo is very, very limited. Aim carefully. Headshots count. The demo takes place in a pretty large level, which I categorize into 3 major areas: the terminal, the lab interior, and the guest entryway. All these areas overlap with each other, and there's quite a bit of pathways looping back to areas you've been before, which become shortcuts once you've opened a door or disabled some sort of barricade or other obstacle. Of course, there are tools you can use to forcibly pry open certain doors in the event that an area loses power, which leads to another mechanic in Athanasia. You can throw the breaker in any given area to disable all electronic functions. Why would you do this? Well, for starters, all the doors in the facility are motion sensitive, meaning like something you'd see at a grocery store or a hospital or something, and they don't discriminate between humans and raptors. If the power's off, the door won't open unless someone with their cool brain that's evolved to use tools and stuff pries them open with an appropriate tool. The areas are also really big, but you can find and print out maps to try and help you get around. These maps aren't exactly super fancy, self-updating things that pinpoint your exact location. They are indeed literal printouts. These maps are large and as complicated as the facility you're in, so you're going to have to learn how to reference the guide, commit landmarks to memory as you go around, and also draw on them to save notes about things. I didn't really do the last thing though, I just kind of vibed with it, ran around in circles, had all that fun times. And in case you somehow didn't know this already, despite seeing this video's title and actively watching it, there are dinosaurs in this game. It's less of a Turok or a Dino Crisis situation, and more of a Jurassic Park Trespasser type deal. Which, if you scroll down a bit in the Kickstarter page, you'll see that Dino Crisis and Trespasser are inspirations for this game. There's these guys who I called the not Sabertooths who are hanging around most of the facility, and a few Utah raptors that you'll find in select areas. I heard something else too, but I never got a good look at it. All of these can be killed with conventional means, but your ammo is very, very limited. And seeing as this facility's been abandoned for some time, you'd better find other ways of getting past them. Also, those raptors are fast. And of course, Athanasia bills itself as a dinosaur immersive sim, so of course we're gonna have all those MSim staples. 0451, there and without a drop of that irony-poisoned subversion that's been infecting a lot of games lately. There is an audio log about someone complaining about reusing passwords as a security risk, but I'm fine with that since that's kind of in-world and we're not breaking the fourth wall to tell the player that every time we put it in a keypad we're killing a cyber puppy or something. Let's not dwell on this too much though, as negativity is bad for the soul. Instead, let's stack some boxes. Let's crawl around in some ventilation shafts. Let's find creative ways to be violent. There's stuff I appreciate in this demo, like how the turrets don't just shoot at anything in their denial zone, but actively seek motion. That means that if a not Sabertooth wanders into an area, they are gonna get blasted, and that if you don't immediately run past turrets, you'll be fine. Also, thanks to motion sensitivity, you can trick turrets by putting things in their line of sight to obfuscate you moving around. On top of all the usual MSim stuff, Athanasia opts for a grid-based inventory system and the ability to mash things together to create new things. Got a bunch of not as effective steel bolts and some sedatives? Make some tranquilizer darts. Got some meat that can be thrown to distract the dinos and some sketchy mushrooms you found? Make some poisoned meat that will not only distract a dinosaur when you throw it, but when they run over to have a little snack, they'll have a little nap too. And while this one is a given, I'd be missed if I don't mention that you can burn through your health supplies to combine them with the cocktails you find and make the fun kind of cocktail. Careful, you can set yourself on fire with these if you botch your throw. And then there's how the game does health. You've got your basic HP bar, but you've also got various body parts that can be damaged or crippled, kind of like how they do it in Typhon, or actually quite a bit of games these days. I found this out when I accidentally chugged an entire bottle of pre-mixed cocktails and got a notification that I had damaged my liver. You can also get the usual lacerations, fractures, and other things like foreign bodies, which each require a special treatment item like this surgical kit I found that I ended up never needing thanks to playing smart and not attempting to eat the meat I just poisoned. Speaking of meat, you can indeed find a place to cook the meat if you want to try and eat it for yourself. I'm counting this as this video's cooking segment because not only was this video done on pretty short notice after I had to shake up my video schedule, but this is also a fairly short video, for me anyway. And I like to use the cooking segment as a nice way to break up the videos, which I don't think this needs. I'll get you in the Transformers War for Cybertron video. Now obviously, as this is merely a demo, there's gonna be a lot more in the final game once we fund it, so we're gonna move on to a brief overview of the story. Alright, this is gonna be pretty short as we're going off a 2-hour demo here. But for now, for the second time in this video script outline, I have a header that reads, "There are dinosaurs," because, well, there are dinosaurs. Based on the surreal looking Steam art, I wouldn't be surprised if there were also going to be some mutants or failed dinosaur clones later on. You know, these not Sabertooths and the weird way their kind of skin looks might be a sign that there are indeed some failed clones or other abominations somewhere down the line in the full game. There's some in-world art on the Kickstarter page advertising the botched dinosaur zoo, which gives me a bit more of a Mystery Flesh Pit National Park than it does a Jurassic Park vibe, and I like that. I kind of like that old school kind of pamphlet core. I'm just making up words now, you know what I'm talking about. So, as for the premise, it is you, playing as Dr. Flores, are breaking into the former Dino Park for whatever reasons you might have. That's very much a, we will probably learn more about this in the full game type of situation. As soon as we get into the helipad area, someone tries to contact us over the radio asking us what the hell do we think we're doing, but things are a little too messed up in this rundown facility to maintain a signal. We're gonna need to get the tram network back online and then see if we can have better luck talking to them once we're closer to the heart of this facility. And, you know, that actually worked. The demo cuts off right at the point where we're about to board the tram into the game proper, with the voice on the other end of the radio introducing herself as Dr. Tanaka. And that's all we get for now. Again, this is a demo. It'd be a little odd, if anything, if they gave us the whole story in a demo. Okay, so if it wasn't clear already, I'm asking you to join me in backing this game. As I continue to grow as a creator in this weird little space we call indie immersive sims, I've learned a few things. And one of them is that unless we band together to help people get their games off the ground, new games just don't happen. Now, of course, I myself am going to be making as meaty of a pledge as I can. However, I will admit I have not done so yet because I still need to pay for the postage for all these aprons. Like, oh my god, I make no exaggeration when I say that you guys nearly doubled the amount of pledge aprons from last year. It's gonna take me a while to paint all your names on these. But we can do this. Actually, we've done something like this before. Twice, in fact. A few years back, you guys helped me get Parapedia funded, which now that I know how to do my own captions, I can tell you all what I am saying through the captions. And as of publishing this video, Corpus Edax, another game we helped get funded, has officially released. I made an extra cursed double down sandwich from KFC for that one. And in the name of credit, it wasn't just us, but also Grimbeard helped out just as much as I did with Corpus Edax, and that just goes to show even more that we as communities do have the power to make things happen outside of the traditional publisher system. And we can use that power for good. We can totally make immersive sims with dinosaurs happen, because we've made other games happen before. So let's fund this! And that's gonna do it for today. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, and hey, did it do the thing? I'm normally not about that engagement begging, but I want to see it do the thing. Okay, you know what? Let's try again. Also, don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell in order to stay up to date on the... Did it do the thing? It's killing me to act like this, but I want to see it do the stupid thing where it lights up in RGB gamer colors around the button. Do the stupid thing! You know what? Whatever. Next week, we're gonna do a video that is about the game I just talked about us making happen. And then after that, we've got the Forbidden Transformers trilogy. So for now, let's sign off. Remember that no matter what you do, be it making an indie game, drawing, or composing music, what you do should never be called content. It is art. Content is a word that in recent years has been becoming a means to take all your skills, your aspirations, and your passions and grind them up into a gray sludge meant for nothing more than mindless, uncaring consumption in the name of making a line go up. Your art in no way deserves that. Art and its creation are sacred. Your art is inalienably a reflection of you by the very nature of its creation, and you in no way deserve to be ground up into the sludge that is content. So get out there and fight for yourself by fighting for your art. Stay saucy, everyone. Saucy boy. I am very happy you are acclimating to the new home. But this pad, this is not the sitting pad. This is the dish drying pad. It's for dishes that are clean. And if you're on here with your dirty belly wobbles that sometimes you leave litter like behind, because you're a big sloppy boy, that's counterproductive. Please do not mouth off at me. It's been a long day. We finally got all our stuff back. You do not belong here. This is not your spot. I just been having trouble. He also now, I've already trashed my stovetop, but if you look closely here, there's cat hairs on the stovetop. I wonder who that could be. Who could that be, Frisk? Answer me. Who could it be? You know, come, you gotta go. I'm gonna turn. Wait, we have another one of these. Don't go there. Don't step on the. I'm gonna like scoop you. I know. I probably should have let you jump up way up here, because now you think this is just all your playground. And it's not. There's very hot things and very sharp things up here. Things that do not, you son of a